Hey there guys, what's going on? Gale here, back again with another YouTube video, and today we are here with some more Danmachi news. And of course today is Argonaut Day, which means of course that we were supposed to get the big latest information on the Danmachi franchise as a whole. Of course at the time, because it was supposedly, dropping on Argonaut Day. I say supposedly, it was dropping on Argonaut Day. We made a video last week talking about what we expect it to be, and I generally thought that, Argonaut Day, surely it's got to be something to do with the Argonaut anime. Of course, we know that Amori was in Rome as well. He was on holiday apparently as well. We found that out after I made that video. And he was dropping hints on Ada's Vesta. He had visited the Temple of Vesta, of course, in Rome, which, big shout outs to him for going all the way to Italy to do some sightseeing and enjoying his time. Of course, big shout outs to him. He deserves the time off and everything, of course, after the last 2-3 years of just dropping banger after banger when it comes to the light novel side of things, right? But we were expecting news today, and we do have information on what is going to be coming up for the Danmachi franchise. And let me already tell you that it is nothing to do with the anime, which is quite kind of unfortunate. But I think at this point, we're just, every time there's some big new information, being dropped by the Danmachi franchise, we're immediately thinking it's going to be something anime related, which you could argue it's our high expectations, but it's also, a hope that, we get something different. We get something that's not just season 6 of the main series. We're hoping for Sword Art Online, Argonaut, whatever it may be, something a bit different, right? And I think that it is kind of sad that we're not getting anything of that sort just yet. Maybe in the future they might, but maybe there's also an unrealistic expectation that they'll actually do something there. But we'll have to just wait and see. Maybe it's unrealistic expectations. Maybe it's just having expectations and they're not living up to it. Whatever you want to call it. They're not doing anything on that front. They're simply just not doing anything on that front. And I think at this point I'm getting kind of to the point, personally at least, where until it actually happens, I'm not predicting anything of that sort. I'm just simply flat out refusing to predict, that it's actually going to happen. But anyways, we still got some brand new information in regards to what's going to be coming up for the franchise, and more specifically what's coming up in terms of the light novel side of things. So first and foremost, this was one of the first tweets that they dropped this morning, announcing that they had achieved 20 million copies sold of all the light novels. That is an amazing achievement. Of course, the Danmachi franchise is very popular in Japan, and outside of Japan as well, it's got its fair share of popularity. It's definitely still a niche series, but it is popular nonetheless in Japan and niche otherwise. But nonetheless, 20 million is a very, very impressive number, and I'm looking forward to seeing it grow and grow further. I think it is literally, like, if I'm not mistaken, Danmachi is at least top 10 in the top 10 of light novels sold. I'm pretty sure it could be in the top 5 as well, but I'm not sure about that. I know for sure it's in the top 10 all-time list for sure. Big shout out to them for this achievement, and I'm very much looking forward to, like I said, to see it keep growing and keep getting better and better and better. Again, something that would help the sales would definitely be, of course, dropping anime. At the end of the day, anime is a great way for them to, market the product, right? And so if you want to, it's a good idea. It's a good idea to actually do an anime, But anyways, that's just me being wishful thinking and me still being a little bit bitter on the fact that we didn't actually get anything that we didn't already know was coming. But anyways, Amori also decided to drop this mini short story about Hestia's blue string as well. I still have to read it. Maybe I'll do a read of it and make a video down the line. But that is also available. Like I said, I'll be leaving a link to the Danmachi anime Twitter account in the description down below, so you guys can go and check out all the links and stuff like that. But the big news, of course, for today, and the big reveal, was that we are going to be getting a volume 21 of the main series, Sword Art Online volume 16, and a brand new Familiar Chronicles, not featuring Haruhime, but featuring Asfi instead, and they will all be releasing in October. Now, this is something special in my opinion. The fact that we're getting all 3 books in the same month is insane. Don't get me wrong. Seeing Sword Art Online volume 16 and main series volume 21 happen in the same month is not too surprising because one, the stories are happening at the same time, you know, based on what we know from the previous iterations and the previous volumes of these two stories, is that the next books were going to take place at the same time. Not spoiling anything more, but they're taking place at the same time from different POVs, basically. That's pretty much the best way to describe it, right? And so it would have been surprising to see them you know, be split up. And not only that, it would have also been a bit of a surprise that it wouldn't have been easy to write both light novels, because at the end of the day, most of the events should be similar. Now, not saying that they'll be exactly the same. Different perspectives means different situations. You, like, for example, let's take Belle and Lafia, for example, those two guys. Belle could be going off and doing something else, and Lafia is probably fighting something else. That means there's going to be a different situation, different writing to be had, but otherwise they couldn't be similar, right? Let's say they're together, or Belle and Eyes, or Belle and Finn, or so on and so forth. They're together, right? They can kind of, it's the same thing that you'll write in both books, basically, right? Slight differences in terms of perspectives and everything, but more or less it's the same, right? Now, of course, like I said, no spoilers on what exactly happened in volume 20 or volume 15 of the main series and Sword Art Online respectively, but I'm just explaining why it makes sense and how Omori was able to do volume 21 and 16 at the same time. Asfi's Familiar Chronicles, however, is the biggest surprise of the lot, to be quite honest, because for time, the fans have been requesting for a Familiar Chronicles on Haruhime, but not only that, Omori himself has said he wants to do a Familiar Chronicles on Haruhime. So instead of getting the Haruhime Familiar Chronicles, we're getting Asfi's Familiar Chronicle. Is fairly surprising. To be honest, I'm very surprised it's Asfi, to be honest. It's not what I was expecting necessarily. I didn't even think about Asfi getting a Familiar Chronicles, to be honest. I've been I kind of, you know, there have been videos where I've spoken about what Familiar Chronicles we could get, and I've never thought of Asfi's, you know, Asfi as a candidate. You know, I've always thought of one of the gods. To be fair, I must have thought about Hermes at some point. I'm pretty sure I must have mentioned Hermes at one point, but I never thought of Asfi. Like, it would have been Familiar Chronicles Hermes, most likely. But Asfi is a good candidate. I think she is one of those characters that is not super popular, but not underrated, you know, is not terribly hated or not liked, or, you know, not appreciated. I think a lot of people, you know, when you look at the cast of Danmachi, Asfi is one of those characters that you tend to forget about at times, but when you see her, you're like, yeah, she is somebody I'd like to know more about, and I'd hopefully see more often in the story, you know. So yeah, I think Asfi is a good candidate. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they drop in terms of her story, of course, right? That is going to be very something very, very interesting. Also, outside of that, we have some more things of, like, of course, with the 20 million copies sold, they are up until the 22nd of June. They are putting up the first 10 volumes of main series and Sword Art Online both. They're putting them up for free to read, which, again, this is a great thing that they're doing. It's a great way to kind of put it out there for, you know, people who are new to the series, for them to check it out and see. Of course, it's a 10-year-old series now, right? 10 plus years when it comes to the light novel, so it's a good thing that they're doing this, of course, right? And I think it's a nice touch to let people, you know, be able to check it out and see for themselves, you know, how the Danmachi series is as well. They did something similar to this for the actual 10 years of the light novels. I think they did volumes 1 to 10 as well, I think, if I recall correctly, for the main series, but this time they're doing Sword Art Online as well, which is pretty good. They've also confirmed that Amazon Audible will be available for the light novels. Again, this is probably only in Japanese, unfortunately. It would have been amazing to see this come to English as well. I know that some of the light novels are they are available as audiobooks, if I'm not mistaken. Only some in English, not all of them though, unfortunately, but something cool. There is going to be a special edition and regular edition for both volume 21 and volume 16. Not too sure about episode Asfi, but well, we can check here as well. No, there isn't. Okay, there isn't. Fumikaru Nishijima will be participating as a writing collaborator. Who is that? Fumikaru Nishijima. Fumikaru Nishijima. I wonder who that is. Nishijima oh. Okay, he's done only a couple of light novels. Oh, okay. So he's worked on a couple of light novels, and I guess he's a junior writer. Maybe it's what he might be. Okay, so basically there's that. Okay, so pretty cool stuff there. Of course, we will absolutely take it and see. Let's see what Mori has to say. Since the simultaneous publication schedule will be impossible no matter how you look at it, we asked Nishijima Fumikaru, who's also from GA Bunko, to help us out. So that's pretty interesting. So I guess, see, that this is where I'm not a big fan, but I'm okay with as long as Omori's okay with it and he's getting the final approvals from Omori, I'm okay with it. It's one of those things where it's gonna be like, ooh, are you commercializing the product a bit too much now? You know, you're trying to achieve these crazy things that just aren't achievable. And clearly, as he says, you know, simultaneous, I mean, 3 books is always going to be very, very difficult. I'm surprised that this is happening, but let's wait and see. I think that's the best thing we can do, is just wait and see, because yeah, I think this is a bit challenging. No, I mean, I'm surprised that they've done this, where they're getting somebody externally to write a Danmachi product. Even though it's a familiar chronicles, you know, feels a bit weird nonetheless. But that being said, you know, we've seen it happen with the manga. The manga is being illustrated and written by other people as well and everything, so it can work. But yeah, anyways, I want to read what Omori has to say here, of course, regarding the episode Haruhime 1. Chronicle episode Haruhime, about the fraud that comes out. As stated in the afterwards of the episode Freya and Ryu Chronicles, this time I was going to release Haruhime arc. It's true, he's like trying to say that he was trying to do it. However, due to my own lack of ability, I had to ask the help of Fumikaru Nishijima. And of course, making a junior GA warrior take part in this explosive calorie content cruel. I'm gonna be like Haruno Mori. After asking myself this question, I decided to publish the episode Asfi first, which was planned to be released later. So effectively, because he knew that, you know, somebody else was going to be helping him write the story that was going to be coming up, I guess the intention was to basically avoid having a junior writer. Basically, that's what Nishijima-san is basically here. I guess to avoid him from struggling with it and potentially getting the brunt of the fans, you know, the fans' ire if it's not good. I think it's a good decision from Omori to, you know, avoid having him write Haruhime's Familiar Chronicles and saving that for later when he's a little bit more free, when he's got when J. Bunko is clearly not making him release 3 books at the same time. I think it's a fair decision to make. Honestly, I think by Omori and the rest of the team, editorial team, to do Asfi's story first and then do Haruhime's at a later date. I don't know what's the reasoning behind doing a simultaneous release like this. I know it's, again, maybe part of the whole 10-year celebration and everything for the anime and stuff, but I feel like this is just them trying to prove that, oh, look at these amazing feats we achieved with the Danmachi franchise, whereas I don't feel it's necessary, man. And if it's a new series or something, then sure, maybe you're trying to achieve something crazy, but still. Also, I was a bit selfish and stubborn in wanting to somehow write the episode Haruhime all by myself. Yeah, there you go. That's also another reason why. Fair enough. I think it's fair. I think what Omori is saying is also fair and it's understandable. But yeah, I think it makes sense in that regards. But yeah, of course, Omori says, thank you for the informative Hero Argonaut Day. The story is A Hero's Desire, which was broadcast 10 years ago. So this was obviously the episode where Belle faced the Minotaur 10 years ago, literally 10 years ago. And the Argonaut are precious treasures to me. I'm glad I was able to share so much with you today. We hope you will continue to support the anime's 10th anniversary. I did see also Omori tweet out that there's going to be still more information to come for the 10th anniversary of the anime. It's just not ending here. Also, by the way, a new Hestia figure, if you guys were curious as to what this is, it's a new Hestia figure from Revoltech. You guys can go and pick it up. They're the same people who are also making a Ice figure as well. They'll be making an Ice figure soon, I think, as well. So be on the lookout for that as well. But yeah, there's still going to be way more to come as well for the 10th anniversary. We will be getting more and more stuff. It's not ending just yet. I don't think so. At least there's still more to come. There's a lot more information to come, so let's look forward to it, is what he is saying. It's on the right there, which is cut off a little bit, but yeah. Overall, am I happy with what we got announced today? Yes, I'm still happy. I mean, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in Volume 21 and Volume 15 of the main series in Sword Art Online, of course, right? Because we got left on a big cliffhanger in Volume 20 and 15 respectively. Did I say 15 earlier? 16. Volume 21 and 16. But I'm also kind of partially disappointed again, as always, with the lack of an anime or something, right? Because at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, light novel, cool and all. As an English reader, I'm not gonna get it for a while, but still, translations and all are a thing. But from an anime point of view, for me, it's like, it's the easiest way to get more and more people involved with these series, right? It's the most hype point of the franchise, in my opinion. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. Maybe it's best to go in with low expectations, no copium, see what we're gonna get, and then celebrate the fact that it's actually happened. Or if it's not happened, then we can just move on and, you know, accept what we're getting, you know. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all that sort of good stuff, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.